What up, it's Shelby. This is episode 4 and I'm coming to you from my greenhouse. My husband built it a few years back. I was a skeptic, I'll admit. I thought he's building a pet cemetery because he was just digging trench after trench after trench, and this went on for, I'd like to say, 1 to 3 months, but it went on for 1 to 3 years. But the end result is that I'm hanging out with some kale, some butter lettuce, some bib lettuce, bok choy, potatoes, and it's a great place to hang out. So let's do this. Creative outlet number 4, right here. All right, what up, my artist friends? I want to talk to you about what you've been doing to stay sane. And as I do that, I think, what have I been doing to stay sane? Am I staying sane? And I say, no, I'm not staying sane. I'm recording a show at a greenhouse on a Saturday morning. But maybe that is me staying sane. I'm not sure. I'll just level with you. I'm not feeling all that creative. In fact, turning on the camera and standing in front of it is the most creative thing I've done recently. And some people just call that narcissism. So you decide. Here I am in the greenhouse. So what am I doing? Well, I'm back in Bend. Been here a few weeks. Hell, I've been here a month. It's been a long time and I haven't recorded anything because I'm not doing anything all that inspirational, I feel. So let's talk about that. Let's dive into that. Here's what I want to be doing. I want to be looking at the blue spruce in our yard and seeing a Sasquatch in its trunk and like shaping the branches around it to reveal a Sasquatch. I want to be like digging in the chicken coop with Josie back there and like playing in the water bucket and feel a song come over me. I want the melody to like wash over me with all that chicken water, and it's just not coming. So instead I'm doing things like dunking plant labels in some pink paint. I made it myself, a little bit of white, a little bit of red. Okay, a lot of white, a little bit of red. That's a little bit creative, but what I'm talking about are the big things. I want to do monumental creative things. Where's the spirit? Where's the muse? I'm ready, I'm willing, I'm able. I got a lot of time with a toddler. Let's do something that she can do with me. What's it gonna be? And I'm struggling to find what that outlet will be. So what do I do after weeks of dissatisfaction with my own creativity? I turn to the oracle, back to the mother. And I turn to Julia Cameron, the Julia Cameron of the Artist Way. And I say, Julia, help me. I feel like I'm going crazy. I'm turning a camera on in a greenhouse and talking to it, solo. The neighbors probably hear me. And this is what I found. This is what Julia revealed to me in the pages. She says, trusting our creativity is a new behavior for many of us. It is important to remember that at first flush, going sane feels just like going crazy. I'm with you. That is why Julia is my sister. She knows, she gets it, feels a little nutty. But Julia tells me I'm on the right path. So I'm gonna keep walking. It's all right, Julia. All right. I'm gonna go on you. I'm gonna go out on a limb with you here. I'm gonna say, creativity is coming for me. Creativity is out there. I'm not inspired right now, but I'm gonna keep myself open to it. What else am I doing? I'm hanging out with a toddler, right? I'm doing some work projects, but I'm talking about creativity, y'all. Unadulterated, uncommercialized. Let's do this creativity, right? Where is it? Where is it? Then I remembered Elizabeth Gilbert, Big Magic. Liz Gilbert, Liz. The most important thing to understand about eudaimonia, though, that exhilarating encounter between a human being and divine creative inspiration, is that you cannot expect it to be there for you all the time. It will come and go, and you must let it come and go. And you must let it come and go. Okay, for sheltering in place, there's a lot of traffic outside. A lot of big trucks going places. Where are they going? Trying to record a show here. Got at least a camera watching me. It's nonstop. It's really nonstop. All right, so Julia, I'm just gonna let it come and go. I'm gonna try to relax a little. Relax into the lack of inspiration, the lack of the muse presence right now. And I'm gonna try to be okay with that and have a show about creativity. I'm gonna try to hold those things right now for y'all. Okay, it's for me, because I'm trying to stay safe. But let's do that together, why not? So I'm doing what any self-made artist would do right now if they're feeling uninspired. I'm gonna call up my creative friends. I'm gonna call up one in particular who just keeps giving, just keeps making, and with her children. And I made that call to my UK Creative Correspondent, Beth. Let's go see what Beth is making.
Hi, I'm Beth. I'm Shelby's friend living in London, and we've been isolating here at home for 30 days now. And I have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old, so that's been challenging. But I just decided at some point that we were going to art therapy our way through this shitstorm. So we've been doing a lot of creative projects. We made these lovely Easter ornaments with some homemade salt dough and then painting and glittering them. And then we just made an Easter tree by picking up some sticks at the park. We also made homemade Play-Doh, which the kids loved, and they've been playing with us. It also smells nice because I added some lavender essential oil. I made a nature scavenger hunt for us to do on a walk to the common. And every time they found something on the list, they checked it off and then they drew a picture of it. We brought a notebook and they did a little art and nature. One of the things that I was really inspired by this past week was the Getty Museum Challenge. If you haven't heard of it, look it up. It's hilarious and brilliant and so creative. But the basic concept is to recreate a famous work of art at home with whatever you've got. So the kids and I got into that this week, and we did Banksy's Girl with a Balloon, since we happen to have a heart-shaped balloon. Then we also did Frida Kahlo's Wounded Deer, because my 3-year-old happened to have a deer costume. We've also been doing a lot of cooking projects. I'm going to share some of those on my blog if you want to check that out. It's walksbetweenthecommons.com. And I'll post a bunch of those recipes there, and including the Play-Doh and the salt dough recipes.
I am happy for Beth. I am happy that she is art therapying her way through this global shitstorm and sheltering in place that's going on right now. And you know what, Beth? I kind of want to stand under that umbrella with you. Give me some space, girl. I want to ride your creative wave. Dancing on the astral plane, dancing pain, the stratosphere, none seems so clear. Since I'm not feeling all that inspired, and I don't have any recent creative trophies to show you, I thought I'd show you something that does fill my cup right now, and that's my garden. It's here that I'm spending most of my time right now. A lot of time with a toddler, a lot of time just letting it go, letting the days go, letting the hours go, and just watching the plants and the nature run its course in front of me in real time, and it's wonderful. It's nearing the end of daffodil season here, and the tulips are taking over. But I'm not going to talk about tulips. I'm going to talk about daffodils. Daffodils! They come from the land of the pixies. They look like the earth's trumpet, and they smell delicious! For a girl from Florida who misses gardenia smells and orange blossoms I have found this one variety of daffodil in my yard called albatross. It's an old heirloom. It smells sweet like a gardenia or an orange blossom, and it's lovely. So daffodils, they send up 2 leaves. Early spring, it's pretty much winter. They send them up, snow, hail, grapple, and they're looking around. And it's like the periscope of a submarine. They're spying. They're spying on me, they're spying on the squirrels, the stellar jays, but they're looking. Oh yeah, they're watching. And they do this dance for a couple weeks, just the 2 leaves. Maybe I'll bloom this year, maybe I won't. And then, fast forward a month. Those leaves, they produce a bud. Bud comes up and it's all green, like a seed going up in the air. And I look at it from my porch and I'm like, oh, that's wonderful. One day we'll have a daffodil. 2, 3 weeks go by, and this bud begins to turn yellow. Just a little bit. Just on the outer, the very tip and the edges. And then the next day, bands of yellow as it starts to open. And I'm getting really excited because this is the biggest drama I've seen lately, and I'm not getting out much, and the daffodils are keeping me entertained. But I don't want to miss it. I don't want to miss the excitement. I know the day that I decide to go out and ride the bike, that daffodil's gonna open. So I talked to it. Look, we've been doing this for weeks now. It's almost a month. You got a bud coming. Are you gonna open today? Are you gonna open in the next hour? Or the next 2 hours? I'm patient. But let's communicate. Let's talk about this. When are you gonna open? I wanna be there when you pop. Or is it gonna be a slow unfurl? I just wanna know, do I got time to run inside and refresh my tea? Or are you gonna pop open right here without me? After all the time I've invested in watching this season unfold. Tell me. And I can't tell you how many times I've lost track of time and forgot about the daffodils that were about to open. I come back and they're open. Thanks, daffodils. So when I'm thinking about the garden, I'm thinking about paying attention, I start thinking about Ocho Ojos and the group that I went to Cuba with in January, right before the pandemic. And so we're reading The Artist's Way together. And Julia Cameron has this wonderful quote that I think is so applicable right now to like, how do we find happiness? How do we find peace with what's going on? And I'll read that quote to you. In times of pain, when the future is too terrifying to contemplate and the past too painful to remember, I have learned to pay attention to right now. And you know what? Gardening does that for me. Keeps me present, keeps me here. I'm looking at daffodils. I'm watching peonies. Let me tell you about the peonies, because they're something else. All winter, they're asleep. You can't see them, nothing. And then they shoot up these things from their eyes, we call them. Their eyes start growing, but they aren't eyes. They aren't eyes growing out of the ground. They're burgundy, arm-like, claw-like things pushing their way out. They're clawing their way out of the ground. And it's really quite alarming when everything else is brown, dead, and the first thing you see are little elfish arms crawling out of the ground. You're like, what's going on over there? Oh yeah, it's the peonies. It's okay, nothing too strange, but is it okay? I don't know. And last year, mine didn't bloom. No, they didn't. They just sent up those arms and did nothing. Nothing. I mean, they turned green. They opened out. They stretched a little. They said, hey. And then they rescinded back into the earth without the show. And I love peonies. Why? What is it? I keep looking that way because they're right behind the camera. Peonies are gonna bloom for me this year. Not only does Julia's quote explain peonies, but it also explains the dance parties that I'm having in my house. And I know some others of you, some of my girlfriends are texting me, some of the most creative girlfriends, in fact, are hosting dance parties with their kids in their house. And my favorite is Kiara Lachey. You can check her out. I just think she has a good vibe. She makes me feel good, and I like doing her dances. And I wrap a little scarf around my hip, and so does Josie, and we dance around. It explains that, it explains the gardening, and it explains sitting on the porch on a rocking chair and just taking deep breaths. So when I let these things happen, when I just appreciate being in the garden for being in the garden, when I appreciate being at the house and nothing's happening, no one's hanging out elsewhere, at least I tell myself this, that sheltering in place, keeping everyone safe is okay right now. Taking a big break is okay right now. I actually feel a sense of delight. Anxiety's gone. Maybe it's the fear of being left out. I don't know, but I just feel good. And until the Muse decides to show up, decides that I'm a worthy artist, that I'm worthy of the idea that it will bestow upon me, I'm gonna sign off here, say thank you for listening, thank you for watching, thank you for inspiring me, thank you for being creative, thank you for sharing your thoughts with me. And I'll leave you with one more quote from Julia. She says, "The quality of life is in proportion always to the capacity for delight. The capacity for delight is the gift of paying attention."